Hello everybody and welcome back to another Dark and Darker video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to solo the Lich. And this is incredibly easy now that they have finished the Warlock kit. All you really need is to buy a couple of magical healing items from the store. And you need Curse of Pain along with the perk that makes Curse of Pain heal you. And you also need Hellfire. Hellfire does a lot of damage. That's how you're going to kill the boss. And Curse of Pain is how you're going to heal off the boss. Right here at the beginning, I'm trying to go in this little gap. I thought I was going to get stuck in the wall there, but it actually ends up pushing me out. And you can grab your torch off of this and get in here. And it's a very good hiding spot then. Great spot if you want to hide. And if you are in High Roller or something like that, great spot to hide if you can find the maze. And I found a Ring of Quickness on the ground there, which is great. Nothing really in the chest for me. And I have a green falchion on with a lantern. Lanterns are really good now. They actually give quite a bit of move speed. I think the base kit one is 6, and then a white one 7, etc, etc. And that's actually quite a bit of move speeds, which goes really well with a falchion. And you might think, okay, I want to use a crystal ball with it though. Nah, crystal ball slows you down way too much. Honestly, I've always preferred falchion and spellbook. It's just a better combo. So spellbook in one hand, falchion in the other. You swap weapons quite quickly. And right there I get hit, but luckily I do have magical healing on, so getting hit is quite negligible. So long as I find some PvE before I find some PvP. Still don't ever want to get hit for no reason. And you might see that I have health pots in my inventory despite having magical healing on my kit. And that makes health pots fairly useless normally. I don't necessarily need those health pots, but they're helpful for if you mess up at the boss and if you get your rotations wrong. Outside of that though, you really don't need health pots. You can just heal off of whatever. You hit a skeleton with one Curse of Pain, and then suddenly you're healing up so darn fast. Right here, I'm just letting my health tick up for a bit, trying to make certain I get full health, and I don't. Just gonna hit it with a Curse of Pain again, and then go back into the maze. And we go back. Real nice and simple, and back to full health. In the maze, a lot of the spike traps are noted on the walls in the minimap, so they should be pretty easy to tell if they're there. There are a couple that aren't, but most of them are, so they should be easy to tell when they are there. And I'm just looting the maze. The maze actually has fairly good gear loot if you want to go through and loot it. Most of the times people don't want to come through here because there's just not much skill expression in here, and it's very closed in hallways. That's actually really good for me as a Warlock because I can cast Hellfire behind me, and they really have no way to push me unless they want to die instantly. And if they want to just die instantly to my attacks, go for it. I don't really care. Try it. And I am going to keep looting. I'm not going to just sit here and hide. If this were High Roller, I absolutely would have just sat in the maze and hidden, because the players in High Roller are a completely different breed. They will chase you down with speed buffs, and they're very hard to get away from. You need to have a plan in mind to avoid High Roller player PvP. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people don't want to play High Roller, and why you see people running in there with big kits in the regular lobbies still. It's because the people in High Roller, they just play with so much speed on, and they will jump your spawn so fast. Now, I haven't played High Roller since the patch, and I know they've done a couple changes to it, so we'll have to see if it's still that way. They made the map bigger, which should help with that problem because there's more distance between, meaning they run into more PvE in between, giving you more time to run away. But we'll have to see how that goes. And they've added Will to leather leggings. I like that change. They've added a whole bunch of stats to all these other items that are really helpful. And it really changes the game quite a bit because before, your best hitting character would probably be a fighter because of physical damage reduction. But now every character gets well. And a wizard tried to attack me there with fireball, and I am just retreating back into the maze. Once again, try to attack me in here. Good luck. Do not chase a warlock in the maze. It is a certain death sentence. Also, don't chase a ranger into the maze. Also not a good time. This is a big reason why a lot of players don't go into the maze in the first place. There's just so many strategies you can use to instantly kill someone, and they do not like it. Now, I want the loot here. I wasn't necessarily planning on killing them, but I'm going to end up killing them. And you could see there, I was trying to hit that other mummy behind this first one, but they've made the Curse of Pain hitbox bigger. So I'm not actually so certain that making the hitbox bigger is that much of an improvement, because it also can cause you issues like that where you hit the wrong target, which is not helpful. That's actually a nerf in that way, although it helps out a lot if your aim just wasn't that good. And it would go through like skeleton rib cages and stuff, which was not cool. There was really no way to avoid that, which I think is what people really wanted to get fixed, and to do that, they just increased the hitbox size in general. Right here, my internet's having a bit of a struggle, so you could see the bar filled up completely twice there. That should not be happening. That is my internet cutting out. That is not a good time. Normally, my internet is stable. There's wildfires going on in the area right now. I believe that's causing some instability there for the internet search fighter I'm with. And I know the whole advice of restart your modem, restart your router, all this, all that. I've done all that. It's not helping at this point. I think it's just on the internet search fighter's end. They've got to fix it, and for that, they probably need the environment to change. It happens. And I'm just looting this whole room, and I'm really surprised that no one has jumped me here with PvP, but this is what happens when you are in a under level 15 lobby, and I get a spell book here. Oh, huge improvement because it increases spell casting speed, which is going to help a ton. You really want to be able to move fast while doing a Lich. It's not a necessity. You can do it with the staff, but it's just easier with the spell book. It just is. And right here, we got a zombie. I'm just going to clock him. A little slice and dice action. And in the doorway, there's really no way to hit him with the falchion. He needs to come a little bit further. And you guys can use that to your advantage. You can actually camp doorways when someone's trying to push you with a falchion, and they don't really have many options against you. They're going to try and lure you out. Don't let them lure you out. This is an actual working option. It works on flanged maces and war mauls as well. There's a lot of weapons you can do this on, and you can cheese people on. People seem to think that we are better than the PvE in this game, but you can cheese players just the same as you can cheese PvE. Just takes a little bit more thought. And I've actually got a fairly full inventory of loot here. And I do like to pick up gear items that I can actually use. I don't just pick up random gear items that I'm not going to use, because those aren't worth the inventory slots to me. But if it's a gear item I would actually use, then I value it at how much I would buy it from the vendor at. So you get a little bit of a different price evaluation then in terms of when you're picking up items. That Zweihander I have in my inventory, for instance, though, is still only worth like 2 gold per slot. It's almost nothing. Compared to actually nothing, though, it's a big improvement. We have this crystal ball here with a +1 true magical damage or true physical damage. I can't exactly read it in the small window I'm watching this back on. And once again, not going to wear that with the falchion. I might wear that over the falchion if I wanted to go after the boss, because I think the casting speed on the crystal ball is faster than on the staff, but I do have a spell book, so I don't need to make that choice right now. I have the best of both worlds. And we have a blue portal there, and they have moved the Inferno portal spawn times back, which is actually a good thing, because what ends up happening is there's more time for people to die now, and there's also more time for people to take blue portals instead of red portals, which means you less often run into people in the Inferno, which I like. I would also really like to see a 3rd layer, honestly even a 4th layer later down the line, so that we can keep seeing ones further and further down, where it's harder and rarer to meet people. But then, oh my gosh, have you ever gotten into Inferno PvP? It is the most riveting PvP you will get into. That'll make your heart race. You're gonna have a good time. I don't know how they think they're gonna make Inferno full lobbies work, though, because with 9 people currently, what you'd end up happening is not a single person would get out. Everyone would kill each other, and then the PvE would clean up when someone's on a quarter of their health left. We'll have to see what happens, though. Like, they can tweak things to make it work. And I'm 100% on board with Dev's vision here. And I'm speeding up through this section. I'm just clearing out the items in my inventory that are trash, the cracked items and all that jazz, and the lower value per slot items. Okay, this is a pretty good spawn here. And it's not the best spawn ever, but it is a Lich map. And I'm just going to go through this door right here. And I can just run my happy butt down this hallway on my left and stick along the wall. And I will only drag the flies. And I'll just tank the flies. I got magical healing on my gear. And I just jump over here. If I fell into that pit, that'd be over for this run. I would not have enough time to kill the Lich. I mean, I probably would if I went in the zone, but it wouldn't be worth it. And now I just run in here. You start off with a Curse of Pain, and that's really all you need to do. You can hit multiple with Curse of Pain if you have less magical healing. This is possible without magical healing items, by the way. It's just way easier with them because the Hellfires hurt you, and you want to spam as many as possible. And also hitting with Power of Sacrifice. Do not run into your own Hellfire. Not a good idea. And I'm trying to line up a couple of the archers there. If you're doing this with the high roller version, by the way, you do need to kill the archers before he makes them enraged. Otherwise, the archers will kill you. You aren't able to cast fast enough to avoid them shooting you. So you have to kill them before they get enraged or you're just done for. Right here, he's casting his orb. When he waves his wand in the sky like that, that means he is casting the insta-death ball on you. You either drag it into another skeleton or into the wall. The purple circle means to stack with other players. That will deal 95% of your health when you get hit by it. You want to have your Curse of Pain up maximum on him before that. And you could also drink a health pot afterwards. I always like to do that just to be safe. And now we're just going to cast a Hellfire on him. Real simple. And he will die faster if you cast more Hellfires on him. That's all it takes. Dragging this orb into the melee. And honestly, I like to keep the melees up because it makes it easier to get rid of the orb, so I waste less time and less DPS. Although, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone say the same thing with High Roller because the enraged ones can become quite the pain. He's casting another orb on me, and he casts these special attacks based off of how much damage you've done to him, and the fact he's spewing out so many so quickly is because I'm doing so much damage. And that's just Hellfire, man. It does so much damage so quickly. It's like a whole team of 3 just beating up on him. That's how much damage Hellfire will do if you're just spamming it. And this run is far from optimal, by the way. This is absolutely not optimal. And as far as I understand, there's a bug while I'm in this recording here. There's a perk that makes it so that Curse of Pain lasts 30% longer. All that stuff lasts 30% longer. That makes it so that Curse of Pain, the initial dot, does not do any damage. The 10 thing of damage. And Power Sacrifice does no damage at all. Which is just a bug. It's not supposed to be that way. So he would die faster normally. I'm sure they'll fix that here soon, though. But Hellfire would do a good 90% of the damage regardless, so it doesn't matter all that much. And keep in mind, you cannot have 2 Hellfires up at the same time. If you cast a second one while one is already out, the first one will disappear, and they'll just go to the end of the map if you just leave one up. So you could potentially cast one and go all the way to the other side of the map and kill someone. That can happen. It's possible. You might see the odd clip of it if you watch clips from this. The blue circle on this boss, by the way, means get away from your teammates. Do not stack up with your teammates. And that does a good 40% of your health, I think. I would much prefer those. It's just random whether he casts the purple one or the blue one on you. I would much prefer blue ones because I don't have a teammate here, and I'd prefer 40% of my health gone than 95%. And that's it. He's dead. He really doesn't have that many mechanics. You just run him around in a circle and keep out healing him. And I go ahead. I get some riveted gloves here to a purple. I get some dark matter there. That is making a new longsword. That is crafting materials for a new longsword, and it's really the only crafting material in it other than just things to get gold out of the economy. And I go here to check the treasure hoard, and I didn't know they removed the treasure hoard from here, and there's a marvelous chest instead. I don't have a picklock, sadly, to loot it. I would imagine there's extremely good loot in there, but I don't get to loot it. And now all I need to do is get out. And if you're running this in high roller, that's going to be your hardest part because the players will also go down to the Inferno with you. And if you run into a 3-man, they're going to absolutely stomp your head in. So that's fun. But also, if you do this in high roller, you can get named weapons. So there's that. And I'm using Vault of Sacrifice there. That one is new. It's basically like Ice Bolt. And you can just use it infinitely. It's pretty cool. honestly makes Warlock pretty viable. That was really all he needed added to his kit to be viable, and the shops also make him so much more viable, because what I do is every 30 minutes the shops reset. So I'll hop on every 30 minutes when I'm actually at my computer and check the shops and buy all the items with magical healing for like 30 gold each, which makes Warlock so much more viable, because the minimum anyone wants to sell an item at is 50 gold generally, because they gotta earn enough money for it to be worth their time, even with the trade fee. So 50 gold is generally the marker people go at. And so you wouldn't see magical healing items for less than that ever. Oftentimes you end up paying 100 gold for a magical healing item. And right here, my internet is bugging out again, which is really cool. Really bad timing for it. Luckily, I did not hit the Hellhound there like I wanted to. It's bugging out again, and I get smacked in the face because my internet's cutting out. This is not the fault of the game, by the way. This is the fault of me, my end. This is the internet. I just want you guys to know that. And luckily, I've just got a zombie on me, and I've got a good setup on for dealing with just a zombie, so we're good as far as that goes. And he used his poison on me, which is good. That's going to deal considerably less damage. And luckily, I've got all sorts of healing, so this isn't going to be an issue this time. Really annoying, though. I hadn't been having other issues this day, and then I start recording a solo boss run, and I start having internet issues. Like, please. Please, Comcast, please. I'm going to go ahead and loot the coffins around here. We are in Inferno here, so we could get some good items out of these. And I get a magical healing occultist hood. Great, I'll grab that. I'm going to drop those pants there, grab that magical healing occultist hood. My shadow mask I have on here actually has one magical healing on it, and it is a better item in general, so I'm going to keep that on. But that's a great item for a backup kit here. And these kits do take some time to put together still, because I generally want 2 magic healing on them. But you can just farm this boss nigh unto infinity. And if you don't get a Lich map, go ahead and kill the rest of the enemies on the map. They drop very good items as well. I think Ranger was the meta before for farming Inferno, but I think Warlock is definitely the meta now. And I'm probably going to be maining Warlock this wipe, because I just really like farming Inferno. That's really fun to me. The PvP down in Inferno is especially fun to me. And right here, you can actually see that they removed the little red bit on the timer there. And it is now incredibly hard to tell how much time you got left. And all you need to know is the insta-death happens when the swarm closes in entirely. So if the swarm is closing in entirely, that means you are going to die imminently. Get to a portal. Right here, I'm just going to hit this thing with a Hellfire because it needs to die, and I'm having trouble hitting it past its shield. No biggie. Use your kit. Next up, I got to get rid of this demon dog right here. And if you guys are ever wondering why I'm stopping myself from saying Hellhound, this is a little bit spoilery, but they actually have Hellhounds planned, which are a harder variant of these that should get added in the future that do not exist yet. So all the things we have now are demon bat, demon dog, or whatever. And right here, I'm just going to open up this portal, and this thing is really scaring me, but I knew I could snag it on the portal, and it's almost going to kill me before I leave here. Honestly, I should have hit it with Curse of Pain first, so I was healing up that whole time. That would have made it feel a little safer, but I got out just fine anyways. Once again, the only health point that matters is the last one. And yeah, that was a great run. I got out with a little bit of that shadow essence or whatever it's called, and I got a purple Pavis and purple riveted gloves, which aren't the best ever, but the dark matter that I got there I think is going to sell for a lot once I actually hit level 15. It was a pretty good run. Yeah, if you guys like this video, make certain to subscribe for more. We'd really like to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys. Bye.